shattering preconceptions. When one mentions the word construction, the image that often comes to mind is one of hardship, of dust, of the clamor of machinery, and of sweat rolling down sun-darkened faces. This is an undeniable reality. But if we stop there, we miss a world brimming with color, a symphony of emotions, and a profound, subtle source of joy that quietly exists every day on construction sites everywhere. Construction, at its core, is not merely a job of muscle and concrete. It is a creative journey, a song of collaboration, and a testament to human aspiration to reach higher. This essay will be a voyage into that world, to discover and celebrate the simple yet incredibly powerful joys. Joys built from the very bricks, steel beams, and parts of the building. The joy in construction is not an easily visible emotion. It does not glitter like the glass of a finished skyscraper, nor is it as loud as a concrete masonry. It is an undercurrent, a spiritual resonance between people, materials, and space. It is present in the sparkling eyes of the architect sketching the first tiles, knowing not the engineer who solved the difficult sculpture problem, and the hearty laughter of workers as they place the massive beam. It is the joy of formation and transformation, witnessing an intangible idea gradually take on a tangible form, standing majestically against the sky. Let us, for a moment, set aside the preconceptions of a dry and colorless profession. Let us listen closely to the symphony of construction. Because there, amidst the seemingly chaotic sounds, a genuine joy and righteous pride are being built, as strong and enduring as the very stars. Chapter 1. The joy of creation from idea to form. The most primal and perhaps most intense joy in the construction industry is the joy of creation. It is a miraculous process that transforms thoughts and dreams from the mind into a physical entity that can be touched, used, and can endure for generations. This process does not belong exclusively to the architect or the engineer. It permeates every 1.1. Dream on paper. Every great structure begins with an idea, a spark in someone's mind. It could be a family's dream of a warm home where their children will grow up. It could be an entrepreneur's vision of a modern office, a symbol of success. Or it could be an entire community's aspiration for a bridge to connect two shores, erasing separation. The joy begins right here, from the very first sketches on a blank sheet of paper. The architect is not just drawing Is this hallway wide? Is that communal courtyard green enough for children to play and the elderly to rest? These are questions filled with consideration for human beings. Their joy is that of a storyteller, using space and materials to tell a story of life, comfort, and joy. Thousands of complex details. For those in the industry, they are accessible to the promise of a great adventure. Every number, every symbol is a detailed style of the structural engineer finds joy in comfort and shows the They are like silent guardians, using the knowledge of mathematics and physics to create a skeleton, strong and nature. Their joy is a peace of mind, the confidence in knowing that their creation will stand firm, sheltering the people within. 1.2. The groundbreaking ceremony, sowing seeds of hope. If the blueprints are the soul, then the groundbreaking ceremony the moment the first excavator bucket hits is not just a symbolic act. It is a declaration, a thrilling start. The atmosphere of the first day of the project is always special. There is excitement, anticipation, and a touch of solemnity. People firm handshakes and smiles full of trust. For the workers, this is when they officially receive their mission. The weeds might still be growing, but in their minds, they can already visualize what the building will look like. Their joy is the joy of a new beginning. They know that from their hands, and through collaboration with their teammates, something new and great is about to be born from this very ground. The feeling of being part of the inception, of witnessing the transformation from zero, is an invaluable source of motivation. 1.3. The miracle of formation, when skeleton and flesh appear. This is the phase where the joy of creation becomes most apparent and tangible. Day by day, the structure grows in a magical way. The first week, there might only be deep foundation pits, but within them, steelworkers creating rebar cages, creating strong roots into the structure. They work with intense concentration. Every tie, every correctly placed steel bar is a guarantee for the future. Their joy is that of the foundation builders. They know that although their work will soon be covered by concrete mentioned by no one, it is the most critical element, determining the very life of the entire building. Then, the concrete is poured. The thick, gray flow is like blood being infused into the steel skeleton, creating a unified, solid mass. When the formwork is removed, revealing smooth, powerful concrete walls and columns, it is a moment of deep satisfaction. It feels like unveiling a curtain to admire a colossal structure. As the rain rises, joy spreads across the site. The workers seem small compared to the scale of the project, but it is they who are raising it to the sky. Every erection is a milestone of victory. They can point up and say, "My team did that 15th floor." It is a simple but deeply legitimate pride. Joy is not only found in grand accomplishments, it resides in the small details. The bricklayer finds joy in laying bricks in perfectly straight lines, creating a flat, beautiful wall. The plasterer finds satisfaction in applying the final coat of render with their trowel, turning a rough surface into one as smooth as silk. The carpenter is happy when a door frame fits perfectly, opening and closing with ease. Every task, no matter how small, is an act of creation, contributing to the overall beauty of the whole. To witness a structure gradually take shape is a unique experience. It is like watching a time-lapse of evolution. From an empty, a steel skeleton emerges, and it's clothed in the flesh of concrete and bricks. Site, the sound and rhythm of labor. To an outsider, the construction site is often chaotic and unpleasant noise. But for those who are part of it, it is a living symphony with its own rhythm, its own sections, and containing the very soul of it. To perceive this symphony is also a joy that deep connection to the world. Point one. A special orchestra and its unique experience. Imagine the construction site as a grand stage. Every piece of machinery, every worker is a musician with their own instrument. The sound of hammers driving nails into formwork, whack, 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 creates an urgent rhythm. The growl of a concrete drill is resolute and definitive. The clanging of steel bars against each other is in the distance, the sound of a pile driver thumps into the earth with a deep, majestic beat, like war drums urging the troops forward. These sounds are not noise. They are the heartbeat of the project, a sign of progress, of work being done. The string section, the high-pitched whir of a tile saw or a rebar cutter is sharp and brilliant, soaring like a violin in a crescendo. The faint whine of a crane's winch cable as it lifts materials skyward is a sound of ascent. The brass section, the blast of a truck's horn as it reverses onto the site, engines, excavators, and buildings. They are the sounds of power and precision, ensuring the nourishment of the project never runs out. The vocals, most important in the symphony is the intonations. These are not idle conversations, but a highly effective language of labor. The loud call of action, bursts of laughter and cheerful banter during breaks. These sounds breathe life into the site, transforming the assembly of inanimate machines into a living, harmoniously functioning body. The joy here is the joy of the work. Once a person they know that a certain machine sound in a particular task is underway. They hear a teammate's call and instantly understand. The urgency and the rhythm of the hammers as a breaker point, and the relaxation in the voices and laughter when the day's work has been well completed. The feeling of being a part of that energy flow, contributing one's own notes, lets us is a joy of belonging. 2.2. The rhythm of work. The symphony of the construction site, creating movement 1. Dawn, allegro fast. Spirited, the new day begins while the sky is still dim. The air is fresh and cool. The first sounds are often the start of the check their tools. Have a quick morning briefing about the day's tasks. There is a sense of focus and determination in the air. Movement 2. Mid-morning. Debauchee lively, vibrant as the sun climbs higher. All the sounds blend together, creating an atmosphere of urgent, bustling labor. The hammer blows are faster, the machine roars are louder, the voices are stronger and more decisive. Energy radiates from every corner. This is when progress is most visible. The joy at this time is the joy of giving one's resolve of seeing the fruits of one's labor bear ripe for one's eyes. Movement 3. The lunch break is andante slow, until the symphony subsides. The machines fall silent, replaced by the gentle hum of conversation. People gather in temporary patches of shade, sharing a simple but warm lunch. They share a piece of meat, a slice of fruit, and tell amusing stories. This is a time to recharge, both physically and mentally. The joy here is in the connection, feeling like a large family. Movement 4. The afternoon, rondo recurring, persistent the sounds return, but perhaps not as frenetic as in the morning. The rhythm becomes more steady, more persistent. Everyone focuses on completing the first step of the day. Sunset, adagio slow. The space becomes surprisingly quiet. Only the sound of footsteps and tools being cleaned and put away remains. People look back at the results of their day's labor. The silhouette of the structure stretching long across the ground. There is profound satisfaction in this silence. The joy now is the joy of completion, the peace after a day of dedicated work. Understanding and loving this rhythm is a vital part of life on the construction site. It helps one immerse in work to feel that each passing day is meaningful and purposeful, rather than just a tedious repetition. Chapter 3. Camaraderie, the glue that binds the pieces. If creation is the soul and the rhythm of labor is the heartbeat, then camaraderie is the lifeblood that flows through the body of the construction site, nourishing and binding everything together. Construction is never a one-person job. It is the pinnacle of cooperation, and in that process of collaboration, a special bond is born, camaraderie. 3.1. In the same boat. On a construction site, everyone, from the supervising engineer to the general laborer, is in the same boat, heading towards the same goal, to complete the project safely, with high quality and on schedule. The mutual dependence is immense. The bricklayer needs the helper to mix mortar to the correct ratio. The rebar installation team needs the formwork team to be precise. Everyone needs the crane operator to transport materials safely. This interdependence creates a deep sense of responsibility for one's own work and for one's teammates. People know that a small mistake on their part can affect someone else's work and delay the entire project. Conversely, when they do their part well, they are helping their teammates. The joy here comes from trust. When you know that the person next to you is also working their part well, you feel more secure and focus on your own task. This trust is priceless. It transforms a group of individual workers into a powerful team capable of facing any challenge. The language of the site. Camaraderie is also expressed through a unique language that requires no words. It is a language of nods and glances. A worker on the scaffolding just has to hold up 2 fingers, and the person below knows to send up 2 clicks. A specific whistle can be the signal for everyone to lift a heavy object together. This wordless understanding is only achieved after a long time of working together, observing, and coordinating. It demonstrates an incredible synergy, like dancers in a complex routine. Furthermore, there are nicknames and inside jokes that only the initiated can understand. These things create a unique cultural identity for each site, helping people feel closer and more connected. It makes the work environment less stressful and adds an element of fun and friendliness. 3.3. Camaraderie is nurtured by sincere moments of sharing. Sharing and gain. When one worker sees a teammate struggling with a heavy skill problem, another worker puts a hand on the head, even if it's not their assigned task. When a young, inexperienced worker is struggling, veteran craftsmen will passing down trade tricks without holding anything back. They don't just transfer knowledge, they pass on the flame of passion. This selflessness creates an atmosphere of mutual support, where everyone feels cared for and valued. Sharing in life, the lunch break is a perfect time to witness this camaraderie. They sit together, one person sharing hot tea, another a snack, another guava from their home garden. They share what little they have. They ask about each other's families and children. The worries and hardships of life seem to lessen in these heartfelt conversations. The joy here is empathy, the knowledge that one is not alone in the struggle to make a living. Overcoming hardship. Construction site is not always smooth sailing. There are days of relentless rain when work halts. There are days when the sun shines like a fire. There are unexpected and complex technical problems. It is in these difficult times that camaraderie shines brightest. Everyone works together to find solutions, encourages one another, and shelters each other from the storm. After overcoming a challenge, the joy of victory is multiplied, because it is the the victory of the entire team. The joy of camaraderie is a warm it transforms the construction site from a mere workplace into a second home. It is the invisible but incredibly strong glue that binds people from different nations, with different backgrounds, into unified work. And it is this unified whole that gives the strength to erect structures that withstand the test of time. Chapter 4. Overcoming challenges. The joy of conquest. Joy would not be complete overcoming difficulties that makes the reward all the sweeter. The construction industry is very is fraught with challenges, intellectual, physical, and mental. And the joy of conquest is one of the most powerful sources of energy in science. Intellectual challenges, solving problems with no ready-made answers. Construction is not just manual labor. It demands logical thinking, problem solving, creativity, deciphering blueprints. A set of construction codes that allows for lines, symbols, and numbers. Simply reading, understanding, and visualizing a three-dimensional space from a two-dimensional plan is a challenge in itself. But the greater challenge arises when inconsistencies are discovered, or when systems clash, e.g., water pipe running through a load bearing. At this point, the engineer, the supervisor, and even the master craftsman must come together, discuss, and find an optimal solution. The moment a clever fix is found, one that ensures technical integrity and design, brings an immense sense of satisfaction. It is the joy of the intellect of winning a difficult puzzle. Responding to the unexpected, reality is always different from the drawings. This saying holds true on every site. Perhaps when digging the foundation, they discover an underground spring not shown in the surface, or a specific material is delivered late, or a sudden storm hits. These situations demand quick thinking and adaptability. Plans must be changed, manpower reallocated, alternative material sourced. This crisis management process is stressful, but when everything is resolved and the project is back on track, the feeling of relief and pride is indescribable. It is the joy of a captain who has steered their ship through a storm. Innovation in execution. Sometimes, traditional construction methods are not particularly complex architectural detail. This is when the creativity of the workers shines. They might devise a special type of formwork, a new way to process material, or a smaller installation sequence. These small innovations not only solve a problem, but also save time and effort. The joy here is pride in one's experience and skill, the feeling of being not just an executive, but an innovator. 4.2. Physical challenges, the limits of endurance. It is undeniable that a construction is a physically demanding job. Working outdoors, carrying heavy materials, and standing or moving continuously for hours is a great physical test. However, for many genuine laborers, pushing past their body limits also brings a unique joy. Shower and sitting down to a meal, the fatigue is only a sense of relaxation and activity. It is the joy of someone who has completed a day of earnest labor with their own strength. It is a very real, very authentic joy. 4.3. Challenges from nature, the dialogue with the elements. The construction site is one of the places where humans most directly confront the harshness of nature. The scorching sun, on summer days, the temperature on site will be extremely high. Steel absorbs heat. Concrete radiation. Working under such conditions is a supreme test of endurance. But they have their own weapons, wide-brimmed hats, face-covering scarves, and bottles of cold water passed from hand to hand. They encourage great time is coming. To get through a peak day while ensuring safety and progress is essential. Sudden rain can disrupt work, create slippery conditions, and damage materials. When rain is imminent, the whole site bustles like an ant colony. Everyone quickly covers cement and steel and secures machinery. The seamless coordination of these urgent events reveals a very high sense of responsibility. And when the rain passes, they quickly get back to work. The joy in confronting nature is a special one. It gives one the feeling of being part of the natural world. Building structures that can shelter you from that very nature. They do not fight nature, but learn to have a dialogue, to adapt and coexist. The feeling of erecting a sturdy roof Chapter 5. Beauty in the raw, the joy of materials. Typically, we only marvel at the beauty of a building when it is complete, splendidly painted, and meticulously decorated. But for those in the construction industry, beauty and joy also come from the raw materials themselves, from their pristine nature. Running a hand over a smooth plank, feeling its grain. The grain tells the story of the tree's years, its life. It's like opening a new book. The process of turning a rough piece of wood into a fine door frame, a staircase, or an intricate truss system is captivating. Their joy is in giving with a second life, bringing the warmth of nature into a living space. Stone. Stone is cold, hard, and possesses the beauty of eternity. The stonemason finds joy in conquering its hardness. They use strength and skill to chisel, cut, and polish, transforming the forms of cladding into majestic steps. Each hammer strike is a dialogue of material and imposition of human to matter. When finished, they feel cement and brilliance in their work. Steel. Steel is resilient, strong, and the skeleton of modern structures. A steelworker doesn't see steel bars as cold metal. They see in them latent power, an extraordinary capacity to bear loads. Their joy comes from bending, cutting, and welding. Carrying the entire weight of the structure, providing safety for hundreds or even thousands of people. Concrete. Concrete, as a mix of cement, sand, stone, and water, is pliable and can be molded into any shape. Once it is, it becomes incredibly strong. The joy of working with concrete is the joy of transformation. The worker pours concrete into formwork molds and waits with anticipation. When the formwork is stripped away, a new, solid, and powerful form emerges, just as intended. That feeling is like a sculptor completing their masterpiece. 5.2. The beauty of honesty. There is a special beauty in the phase when a project is still unfinished, and all its structures and materials are exposed. An unplastered brick wall, with its neat rows of reddish bricks, has a rustic and warm charm. A system of exposed concrete beams and columns, displaying the power of its structure, has a beauty of honesty, without concealment. Construction workers get to witness this beauty every day. They see the anatomy of the building, understand how it works, how its parts connect. This joy is like that of a surgeon who knows every organ in the human body. They don't just see the outer shell. The very thing that gives the building its life and durability. They take pride in it, even knowing that it contains damage. They are satisfied with the perfectly straight line, even knowing it will be plastic. Because they know that the energy from the outside safety is joy, building the future on a solid foundation. In the symphony of construction science, there is one indispensable note, the foundational note that determines the existence of all other joys. That note is safety. Many might think of safety as dry rules and constraints, but in reality, safety is the source of the most sustainable joy. 6.1. Safety is respect. Adhering to safety regulations is not just about protecting oneself. It is an act of respect for one's colleagues, one's family, and the work itself. Respect for colleagues. When a worker wears a hard hat and properly uses a safety harness, they are not only protecting their own life, they are also bringing peace of mind to those working around them. No one can work joyfully without worrying about the safety of others. A safe work environment is one where everyone can focus completely on their expertise, maximizing creativity and efficiency. The greatest joy is not the money, but seeing their loved the serene feeling of knowing you are responsible for it. 6.2. The joy of an incident-free day. One day, the safety manager announces no incidents of safety. A palpable sense of control spreads through the ranks. This is not a gift. It is the result of the effort, caution, and awareness of build them